three more names I'm going to throw out there because I want to get onto mailbag. So let's talk about these as a trio, shall we? So the other names we've mentioned this week, AJ, Nat Phillips, Jacob Greaves, I think was last week, and then Jayden Oosterwolde, Fenerbahce defender. So do you want to take those and just briefly talk about those?
Am I going through all three? Okay, yeah. Cool. Nat Phillips, one that came out from a Daily Mail piece that essentially just looked at all the Liverpool players, basically. So Town were thrown in with about half of the Championship and also Mainz in Germany, other German teams as well. So with those, you have to be a little bit careful of what comes up in terms of those rumours when there's so many clubs involved. But someone who's played a full season at Championship level last season with Cardiff, so did well there, had some spells before that, obviously famously got drafted into the Liverpool squad when they essentially had no centre-backs back, I think, in 2020. Liverpool looking for about 8 million, but he is a right-sided centre-back. Not really for me, but I can see the profile and the appeal, 27, so there's not like he's an old player, but he's kind of in that middle ground. Jacob Greaves, really like this one. Would have been on my transfer targets piece if I thought it was realistic, which I didn't. And now it seems like it might be because there's a lot of clubs, fairly big clubs, have been linked with him. Everton seemingly keen, and West Ham too. Left-footed, was in the Championship Team of the Year. Really good player for Hull. Believe he's their vice captain, but has been captaining the team for quite a while. Good on the ball, strong tackler, someone that you'd feel would suit playing alongside Luke Wolfenden. I really like that as a duo, so it would be a good deal if they could get done. But Hull like charging big fees, so we'll have to see if they try and ramp up for a massive one. And then Oosterwolde is a very interesting left field name that got put out from Turkish media. He's playing for Fenerbahce under Jose Mourinho. Kind of been in and out of their team a little bit, but he's a centre-back who can play left-back, quite tall, really fast. Bournemouth have been linked with him, although I know their local press have played that one down. Again, would probably require a decent fee, and you've also then got to take on a player and convince him to come to play for Ipswich over playing for Jose Mourinho in Europe next season, which, again, feels a little bit weird to say out loud. The Ipswich are going to be competing against a Jose Mourinho side here for a player, if there is anything in that rumour. But if there's anything to go off on those three, at least it's that Town want to strengthen defensively. Whether there's much in those three rumours, I'd say Greaves probably is the one you'd look at as the realistic one and probably the strongest option. But the fact that there's all these centre-backs linked, I think shows that Town want defensive reinforcements.
Mourinho is yesterday's man. It's all about McKenna now. Stu, have you got anything else you want to add on those before we move on to mailbag? Any thoughts?
Do you think Kieran picked up the phone to Jose and just said, "I'm the special one now"?
Yeah, calm down, Grandad. Get back in your box.
There is that link, isn't there? So I'm sure that they've had some conversations along the way. If they do sign a centre half, and I note that by sort of general consensus, most people have been talking about centre half being the area that needs to be improved the most. I think some of that, as I've said before, has got overplayed by the number of goals that Ipswich conceded, and people may be overlooking that that's a team style issue rather than personnel. If a centre half comes in, and if Ben Johnson has been signed at right back, then does that mean that someone like George Edmondson needs to move on as they sort of free up as many slots as possible at the top end of the pitch for bringing players in? We'll have to wait and see. I'm talking about Hull, not maybe being. I mean, they're talking now about Philogene going to Barcelona, aren't they, at the moment? And you think what could have been there with Ipswich very much sort of in the running for him last summer. But, you know, if they think they've got big money coming in for him, will they feel like they're under pressure to sell? Greaves, certainly not a cut price. Similar conversation around Coventry at the moment with Ben Sheaf. They brought in quite a lot of money last summer, and they're talking about, well, if anyone goes, it's going to be on our terms. So I don't know if Ipswich are in a position with some of those clubs to just show a bit of financial muscle and kind of take these players without a fight. So, it's also whether the selling club, how strong their hand is. You've got to always take that into account.